Hey everyone, TPS Miner here. Welcome back to the TPS Miner channel. Today I want to do a quick video on the website What to Mine. This is an extremely valuable resource for calculating profitability of your graphics cards across different algorithms. I'd made reference to this in a video I had recently done, and someone had reached out to me and asked me for some tips on how to use What to Mine. So really this video is geared towards the new miners that are just learning how to determine profitability. So we're just going to start from the top. We'll work our way down and try and share as much information as I can and how I use the site. So the first thing when you log on to, when you go to whattomine.com, across the top you see the different current prices for several different prominent coins. So Bitcoin, Zcash, Ethereum, Monero, Ethereum Classic, etc., etc. So again, just a quick reference. The next tab, the next line down, you've got the different tabs, one for GPUs, and this is the one we'll talk about most in this video. So this gives you the different relevant GPUs for right now. You've got an ASIC tab, which is similar to the GPU. I don't currently have any ASICs, but the functionality would be the same as what we'll be talking about for GPU. Coins, this tab allows you to go in and do profitability calculations on specific individual coins, and we'll talk a bit more about that in a moment. There's a tab here that allows you to do profitability for dual mining, so Ethereum and Conflux, Ethereum Ergo, Ethereum Raven, Litecoin and Doge. So when you click on this tab, you can put in your hash rate for Ethereum and whatever you're pairing with for your dual mining, and allow you to determine profitability calculations for your dual mining. The next tab, miners. This just gives you profitability rankings of different ASICs and what the top coins, the profits for the top coins are, given the prices that we see here across the top of the website. And then GPUs, the same thing. You've got your profitability rankings for all your different GPUs. Obviously, the RTX 3090 being the most profitable, and what the different coins are that are the most profitable. Okay, so we're going to jump back to the GPU tab. This is where I spend most of my time. You see that the first thing we see here, this tab main, this is just a blank setup. I've just got a 3060 plugged in here because when I was prepping for the video. But if you want to add a new tab, so let's say we wanted to create one for my rig Vader, click add, and these are just allowing you for quick reference. So if I wanted to add all of my GPUs that are in my Vader rig, I could go ahead and do that here on this tab, and then I would have this tab saved. So if I wanted to come back and look at it later, click on the Vader tab, and all my information for my GPUs is already plugged in. We're not going to start with that. We're going to start with main. So for this example, I'm just going to use the 3060 light hash rate, or 3060L. But you see here, if we click on the show more, you've got all of the different GPUs available that are really relevant for mining today. And if you hover over one of the buttons, you can see that they give you some information about that particular GPU and how they're using that to determine the information we'll talk about later. So for the 3060 light hash rate, they're assuming 60 to 80% TDP and the fact that it is ETH hash limited. So I'll just zero this out real quickly, and you'll see that with no GPUs selected, if it's highlighted gray, or if it's gray, then all of these are zero. So you can see everything here is gray. Nothing is currently populated down here as far as numbers. And so we're starting with a blank slate. So I'm going to assume I have one 3060 light hash rate card. So I click on the 3060L and it changes to green. And you can see now we've got numbers. These numbers are, for most cards, are just kind of basic estimates. Right? So I know my 3060 light hash rate on Ethereum is not getting 35 mega hash at 120 watts, but for for some basic calculations, we could assume that those would be correct, albeit they are not. So I come down here and I hit the calculate button, And what this is going to do is take all of these numbers for all these different algorithms, and it's going to calculate a profitability. So I see here with the numbers that were provided, the 35 mega hash at 120 watts for Ethereum, it's telling me that my profit is going to be, I'm going to be at $2.16 per day before electricity. So this is before electricity cost. And the row below it is after electricity. So let's see how we can get more clear information on that. So I'm going to click on the Ethereum link here. And this is going to take me into the Ethereum coin tab, which we had talked about up here. And you can see a hash rate of 35 mega hash per second at 120 watts of power consumption and an electricity cost of 11 cents per kilowatt hour. So this is my electricity cost. Yours is going to be most likely going to be different. The block reward, these are numbers that I don't change. The block reward and difficulty, these are numbers that are ones that, again, that I just don't change. Fees, if there are any fees associated. So for example, if you're in a mining pool and then there's a 1% mining fee, you can add that if you'd like. And that is going to more accurately fine-tune your profitability calculations. And hardware costs. So what did you pay for this particular piece of hardware? So let's go ahead and fill this out for my particular 3060 and see how different it is from this $2.15 in revenue per day and 32 cents cost, giving me a $1.83 profit. So let's go ahead and put in my numbers and see what happens. So I'd mentioned we're at about 36.2 mega hash on my 3060 LHR card, and it's pulling about 110 watts of power and at 11 cent cost. So we saw here previously $2.15 profit or revenue with a 32 cent cost, leaving us a $1.83 in profit. And with the new numbers, sorry, before we do that, we've got a couple of other options here. So when we're doing our calculations, our block reward value, this can be an average over the last hour or over the last 24 hours, 3 days, 7 days. So I like to look over the last 24 hours. These are, the numbers are very dynamic over time in terms of the block rewards, or can be very dynamic. And so I like to change the block reward value to a 24-hour average, and I use a 24-hour average difficulty value as well. But again, if you want to look at over 3 days or 7 days, you can do that as well. We'll leave this at 24 hours for the purposes of this demonstration. So now when I hit calculate, let's see what the revenue, cost, and profit numbers do. So our revenue actually goes up, which makes sense because we are getting a higher hash rate than what the default number of 35 was. And our cost goes down to 29 cents because our power, our actual power, is 10 watts lower than the estimate that was provided by What to Mine. And so you can see we are actually more accurately at a profit of $1.91. And those numbers are reflected over the course of a week and a month. And again, these will change as the difficulty changes over time and as the price of the coin changes over time. So if we plug in a hardware cost, so let's say I think I paid $635 for my 3060 LHR card, and that was with tax and shipping. So we're going to hit the calculate button again one more time, and we're going to look at what we see here on the left. So we get a very large summary here of the information for Ethereum, and we're using Ethereum as our example. So the algorithm is the ETH algorithm, a block time of 13.39 seconds. The last block was block number, 13,856,263. The block reward was 2.10 Ethereum. The block reward over the last 24 hours has been 2.09. And we get our difficulty, the difficulty over the last 24 hours, 3 days, 7 days. These are rather steady for Ethereum. Other altcoins, you'll see the difficulties change dramatically as miners move onto or off of the algorithms. The total net hash, we've got 883.45 terahash mining on Ethereum right now. And then we see some exchange rates and our volume. So these are our exchange rates against Bitcoin, the volume over the last 24 hours, the Ethereum market cap, and with this mining, we create 1 Bitcoin over 22,000 days. All right. What I really want to look at here is the break even. So at these profitability numbers and a hardware cost of $635, this is telling me that I will break even in 333 days of mining. So not a great number. And, I've learned, I knew when I bought this card, I had overpaid for it, but I really wanted to get my hands on one to test it. But not a good decision on my part to actually purchase this card. Okay, so then we get some historical information, again, just kind of reflecting the same thing that we had seen up above, and then our plot that shows our estimated rewards, revenue, and profit over the last X number of days. Okay, so let's jump back to the GPU tab and talk a little bit more about different things we can do here. So again, we talked about having the default things here, and the nice thing about this tab is when we scroll down, we get all of the different coins listed together. So because we had some of these defaults for every different algorithm, we get profitability for every different algorithm or every different coin. And the numbers are all in reference to Ethereum. So you see profitability current, 24 hours, 3 days, 7 days. For Ethereum are all 100%. The percentages for the other coins are in reference to Ethereum. So Conflux, for example, on a 3060 light hash rate card, we're 37% more profitable currently on Conflux than we are on Ethereum. Over the last 24 hours, we have been 12% less profitable on Conflux than we have versus Ethereum. And again, same thing, over 3 days, 89%, 7 days, 88%. So everything in these percentages is referenced to our baseline for Ethereum. So if we have gone through and done some testing, and I'm in the process of doing this right now. So for example, I know a 3060 LHR for Ethash, I know I can get 36.2 megahash at 110 watts. I know for the ET hash, which is for Ethereum Classic, so ET hash 4G is for Ethereum Classic. I know I can get the same numbers, 110. And let's just say I'm interested in BrandonCoin. And let's say, for example, the defaults here are telling me I can achieve 22 megahash at 140 watts on Raven, but I know I can get 24 megahash at 130 watts. And Firo, let's say I can do the same thing on Firo because the FiroPal algorithm is similar to the Kapow algorithm. So I can get 24 megahash at 130 watts on Firo. And then let's just say for Flux, I can get 39 megahash, and I know I can get that at 120 watts. So again, these are just fictitious numbers, but I haven't tested any of the other algorithms, but I went ahead and I plugged in the numbers that I do know for Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, Flux, BrandonCoin, and Firo. And I could do Ergo here as well. So let's say Ergo, I do 120 at 100 watts. Again, just made up numbers. So now I hit calculate. And over here, my cost, I have the 11 cents per kilowatt hour, sorted by current profitability and my difficulty for revenue. We're going to use the average of the last 24 hours for the difficulty. Selected exchanges, I'm going to leave all of these here. These are the different exchanges that I can buy and sell these different coins. So we're going to leave these all here, and I'm going to hit calculate again. So now what I've done is I've done a profitability calculation for the known algorithms that I've tested my cards on, and now I have more accurate numbers. So I know for Ethereum, again, now we see an more accurate profitability number of $1.91 versus the $1.83, I believe it was earlier. And my Raven coin is updated to be more realistic. Flux has updated to be something more realistic. But, for example, Conflux, I've not tested this on the Octopus algorithm yet, so I don't know what I can actually achieve on Conflux. So these are still based off of the defaults, but the ones that I've plugged in up above for the different algorithms are going to be more accurately reflected. Okay, so now what these are sorted, as I'd mentioned here, we're sorting by our current profit. So you can see here, these are the revenue numbers, and below it are the profits. So it's taking out our cost of electricity, and will be sorted then based on those numbers. And I don't believe that is accurate because Conflux is at the top, and those numbers aren't correct. So that is very interesting. Okay. Now, as we continue to scroll down, you see we become less and less profitable to the point where we have zero profit. So these are coins that either there's not enough information for us to determine what the profitability would be, or these coins are not possible to be mined with the card we have. So some of these may be CPU mineable coins that are not GPU mineable, or maybe they're ASIC mineable. And again, just don't have enough information. And at the very bottom, there are some where you can see a negative profitability. Okay, so these are the basic features and functions of the What to Mine website. Again, as I'd mentioned, this is an extremely versatile and useful, a useful website. And if you haven't used it, strongly recommend, if you're looking to get into mining, or if you're new to mining, or even if you've been at this for a long time, head over to whattomine.com, play around a little bit with some of these different numbers, see if your profitability calculations on What to Mine are matching what you're seeing on your rigs or on your cards. And yeah, just make yourself familiar. Again, a great website, and I wanted to share a little bit of knowledge on this one. So if you found this useful, please go ahead and hit that like button, give us a thumbs up. If you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. And thanks for taking the time to watch, and we'll talk to you again real soon.